This is Alexander Sweetwood.
Sean Robinson.
And Mike Sawatsky.
Coming at you from the New Jersey Camera Show at Unique Photo in Fairfield, New Jersey. You can check us out at uniquephoto.com. And we're running some crazy deals. We were real busy yesterday.
Yeah.
The weather's really nice today. I'm pretty happy.
It's a lot warmer than I was expecting it to be this morning when I got up. Yesterday was pretty
A little
cold.
nippy, yeah. How was the show for you yesterday, Mike?
We had a record day yesterday, especially with the printers. I mean, it was like just a train of printers on green cards going out the door. So it was a nice sight to see for us.
Pretty sure a whole bunch of them came out behind during the talk yesterday. So
I used some of the discussion we had yesterday for the gift-giving guide to explain to some people about the CP910 printer and how it's great for the family to all air print.
Oh, good.
And I used what you were talking about, tangibility, and that people aren't printing anymore. And everyone kind of got excited about it. It gave me like a renewed sense of hope. But if we have to go convince every single person that they should have some tangibility, we're going to have a long way to go.
Well, no, I think it's a trend. I think with things like Fuji Instax and Impossible Project Film, and not only do we sell those products here, but they're appearing in more like stores like Urban Outfitters and stuff. You'll see.
That's Urban Outfitters' number one selling product by SKU is Instax mini film.
Right.
More than socks.
It's becoming a trend. Tangibility and retro things.
Yeah. I hope that the retro side, I understand that for the artistic area, but I'm hoping at least on this standard, I took a good picture side, people print at home. The printers are so inexpensive. So let's go through our list here. Let's do a little, what do we want to start off with? Want to start with Hulu?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. All right. So I see an article here. I'm going to give you a quick summary. Hulu offers free streaming on Android over the holidays. What do you guys think about that?
well, from actually this morning, I saw that and immediately went and downloaded the basic Hulu app. Like I had Hulu Plus for a while, and then just decided, I'll just download it and just use the regular one.
Was there like a trending list of apps? Is that how the Android store works?
No, like this, I read the article really quickly and then just was like, all right, I'll download it. It's cool. I've got Netflix.
You have it on there?
I will actually open it in a second here. So yeah, when I looked at it, it's really cool, but it is still very, very limited as far as like what is on it for free.
Okay, so talk to me. What is Hulu? Hulu is a online streaming service?
Hulu is faster at actually getting you network TV shows. So like shows on NBC, ABC, all that kind of stuff. They'll be up, I think, like 24 hours after the original broadcast. They'll be up for a limited time, and you can watch them. If you're Hulu,
so
Plus,
it's like
you can do it any time.
It's like Netflix, except it's in an app and is really nice interface, and the TV shows come really, really fast.
Exactly. And part of this
are they a public company?
I believe they are. Yeah.
Okay.
Part of this this promotion that they're reading is that they did roll out a new Android app, or like a refreshed Android app. So taking a look at it, it's pretty cool.
Hulu's normally a paid service?
It can be. It's like $7.99.
What do you mean it can
Netflix.
be? It could be free?
There's free, and you can watch like
commercials?
really any content that they'll throw free on there. So like one thing will be up for a little bit, and then it'll come off. With the full version, I believe you can just watch anything you want that's even in any of their service, and you just watch it at any time you want.
And I mean, I put it on the list actually just because it's interesting to see more and more of these content streaming services becoming available, and how many more people, at least my age, I know, that aren't subscribing for cable anymore. I mean, I know the only reason that I would like cable is so I can watch some sports sometimes that are on like special channels. But I mean, I guess I could just go to a bar to do that, or I think eventually there'll be some kind of online subscription for sports as well. But I'm not.
Well, right now with DirecTV, for instance, when you have DirecTV, my dad has it. So my apartment, I log on to the app and I can see the Red Zone and I can see every single game. So they're expanding that a lot more. DirecTV has where you can watch any of your shows on Wi-Fi in your own, when you're in your own house. But they could open it if they wanted. There's restrictions, obviously. I'm sure they're preventing it because.
Well, and we've talked about it before with HBO. HBO is going to start actually setting out.
Hold on, I'll put it in later.
Twitter.
Okay.
HBO is starting to actually promote the fact that when the Game of Thrones season starts, they're hinting that they're going to start their own paid service, so you don't have to have HBO in a cable provider. You'll be able to pay for service and just watch Game of Thrones from anywhere, which is awesome.
How close are we to seeing a real dramatic shift in the way that people watch TV shows or entertainment content? Like,
we're there.
We're there?
I mean, I think that
when cable companies stop making money from it, what do you think?
Well, they're going to have to adapt.
Right.
And seeing what HBO is doing, I think, is the way that we're going to start seeing them adapt. Is making
I saw
that.
it on here again.
Oh, okay.
So I want to see what else we got on here.
So
Definitely download the Hulu app and check it out for free, because there's a lot of really cool stuff on there. I mean, even stuff as simple as, like, South Park. All the latest episodes are up there when they come on. So
to answer your question, I think we are in the best time of television.
Right.
I think that Netflix got it down with these, where they released the entire. I'm not gonna take that right now. Let's put it on Do Not Disturb. So I think we're at the best point in time in TV. They have it down with this binge watching. They release the entire House of Cards, and you can watch all 13 hours at once if you want.
That's the kind of show you watch episode after episode of, right?
Yeah.
That's the show I am anxiously waiting for it to start back up in February.
And I mean, Homeland, if you get a cliffhanger episode, you're like, why can't I watch next week's? But I understand they want the viewership and whatnot. And like Sean said yesterday, for those people who cancel their subscription after the shows are over, the longer the show runs on their network, the better, technically. So let's talk spider-based sensor. We're talking, this is another article from Engadget. And it says spiders are the key to ultra-sensitive wearable devices.
Yeah, I mean,
Tim, grab this screenshot.
I don't have any wearable tech yet, like Google Glass or anything, but the whole idea of it has always fascinated me. I guess even since I was a kid, and it was just like a sci-fi thing. You had like the kid from the Burger King mascot wearing like the VR thing over his face. Like that kind of stuff has always fascinated me. So I was reading this article on Engadget.
Do you wear glasses?
I don't know.
Do you?
Nah.
Because I have a pair of Google Glass for a long time. We've mentioned on the show before. And someone got it for me. I wasn't shelling out that kind of cash for it. But I could see that if I wore glasses, I'd wear them all the time.
Yeah.
Because why not have access to that information?
I think that particular device, if it was a little bit less expensive and it was a little bit better, especially with the camera, would be something that I would want. But this is really interesting.
Come back to us.
This article talks about...
We're tweeting the article now.
Okay, cool. It talks about how there's certain organ in spiders' legs called lyriform, and it allows them to like walk and react certain ways very quickly. So scientists have been able to take different kind of polymers and use platinum too, and send small electrical charges through it, and they're being able to make sensors now that weren't practical before, but you'll be able to have like a heart sensor on your wrist that's like flexible and like that big. So
wow.
Different like medical uses like that. I'm just the whole thing with this kind of technology has always fascinated me for the practical
Me too.
use. And, yeah.
And the fact that it's cutting edge.
Yeah, and that goes like right with one of the other topics that you put in there about prosthetics and
Right.
And what was it we were talking about at dinner last night? Yeah, the bionic eyes is what we were all joking about.
Yeah. Well, that's because that's a real thing now. As of a few years ago, it's become an actual technology that if someone's lost their vision with the injury, that they can have a bionic eye replacement. And at first, they'll only be able to pick up small contrasts and light and dark areas. But eventually, it's amazing how the brain works. The brain teaches itself to use the bionic eye to be able to make out. Like there's now people with these bionic eyes can read large print books or cross the street or recognize a loved one or something. It's pretty amazing where technology is going with this.
I'm really happy to be alive when we are.
Yeah, right? And
so with the bionic eye and prosthetics and stuff like this, we started talking about this last night. What could the possible repercussions be with that, though? I mean, my thought of this whole thing is like, okay, you lose your sight, you're not able to see for a very long time, and then they start doing this. Like, what kind of psychological things are going to happen because of this? Because now you've gone from not being able to see, and the brain is very hard to forget trauma or something like that, to now being able to start to see again.
I don't know, bro. If I can't see for 35 years and you give me an eye, I'm going to be ecstatic.
yeah.
Even if you give me some black and white blurry crap.
I mean, I actually, at the same time, I think kind of what you're saying, be a little bit worried about maybe people becoming too powerful in some ways. Like, I know that the eyes will be able to zoom now. And also, what I'm really interested in, I know it's probably frightening to some people, is actually having a camera built into a bionic eye. I think would be really cool as well.
Pretty impressive. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but you're not going to be getting, we're not going to be switching out people's legs anytime soon to make them into superhumans.
Sure.
And I mean, quite frankly, there's some guys who appear superhuman to us. The world's strongest man comes up, he's essentially superhuman to you. So.
Sure, and this is all very expensive and experimental. Still, it's not about to just become mainstream.
I mean, I think, not to quote science fiction Iron Man 3, when they had, the people who basically could regrow limbs and were extensists or whatever. I mean,
Wolverine.
yeah, well, that's an extreme, obviously, another extreme. But the same token that if you can help heal people, especially in the battlefield, faster, or you can give people, reuse of arms, and the nerves have always been, we have hand transplants now. I mean, this is an amazing time. Back in the day, people had cuts that wouldn't heal. So we're living back in the day. I mean, we're talking a long time ago, but still, our understanding is tremendous right now. And then the brain is a marvelous piece of equipment.
And as far as the eyes too, some of the really amazing parts of it are that, say, if you're asleep, you can still have your bionic eyes on though, and if there's a disturbance or a fire or something, there could be a sensor to wake you up before your body naturally would. Additionally, too, so there could be the ability for a bionic eye to see wavelengths of light that the human eye can't right now, and again, that's something that the brain...
Like infrared.
Right, like infrared is a great example, or like carbon monoxide, things like that. So you can see, because right now you can't smell carbon monoxide unless you have a detector in your home. It can be a very deadly thing.
I'm going to switch gears, but not switch gears, and change the next topic we're talking about, and I want to roll forward with what we're saying, and basically switch into something that's being called the Internet of Things. And we haven't discussed this previously, us ahead of this, we're kind of off the cuff, but it's becoming a very big philosophy that we're going to be in the Internet of Things. I mean, right here at our table, first of all, we have these mics. They're not on the internet, but they're connected to a closed network. You have your phone, which has multiple connections to the internet.
Yep.
Your tablet, you have a phone in your pocket. I'm sure I got a laptop.
A watch.
You have your watch. Right, so we're talking about a lot of devices right now that are connected and growing. And, these, you just named parts of our body, so I might have 10 things in my body connected to the internet. We're talking about a crazy number.
You just imagine the one day when it's, instead of having to look at a tablet like this or Google Glass, you just kind of like blink a different way and now you're on the web.
Well, the Google Glass, that we'll take a picture. We'll take a picture with the blink.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So, I just wanted to mention, I wanted to try and get the statistic here, I don't see it, but essentially the Internet of Things is, there's more than, there'll be 3-to-1 ratio in America shortly of humans to internet connected devices. When you think about that, that's like mind-blowing, but it makes a lot of sense. I'm sure you guys have a TV in your apartment that's connected. I mean,
computer, phone, sure.
Right, and then you have more devices to connect those, switches, routers, everyone's house.
Eventually with all the refrigerators that are connected to ShopRite and things like that.
I have my lights.
Here on Nest. Because one of the cool things
Let's
is
flow
that...
right into that right now.
Yeah. Google Now, it's just in testing phase and it doesn't fully work yet, but Google Now is starting to learn your habits. In fact, I love Google Now. It tells me like when I should leave for work, when I have a flight,
with traffic,
when I have
it'll
a wedding
update
to
you.
photograph, that kind of thing, and it learns my behavior, my driving patterns.
Yeah, I do. I appreciate that too. With I mean, it tells you how long you're gonna get places. I don't use Google Now, but I've seen it in action, and it's top notch, especially with the Google Glass.
Right. But now with Nest, Google's learning, where you are, what the temperature is, when you're in your house, when you're not, and it's going to start being able to automate.
Yep. And they do it by sensors, but what they'll do is, I mean, it's essentially they know where you are, so they'll know Mike turns the heat up when he gets home. You'll program, even if you program that in. When I'm 10 minutes away from home, turn it on.
Right.
When I'm leaving, turn it off.
And just like you said, years ago there were cuts that weren't healed. Back in the day, like decades, hundreds of years ago, people chopped wood to heat their homes. Now it's being automated. So we do live in an amazing time.
Amazing time, and not only that, but go back 5 years. If you left the air conditioning on in your apartment, you were burning energy the whole day. Right, you just spent $40 for the day or something absurd, and now, forgot it off, it's turned off. Not only that.
YouTube just switched to, it's not picking up the encoder anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Like right in the middle of it.
Can they hear us? Shut up, fix it right now.
That means it's not sending anything.
All right, get it fixed. What's wrong?
I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
double check and make sure that it's actually really.
It is. Sean, it was rolling. Oh, it says technical issues now.
Well, I threw that up because we stepped off.
Okay, but it was pretty good. It looks like. Can you reconnect it?
Yeah.
I want to roll.
I'm going.
It's good to have 3 people on the top. We almost should do it every day.
Yeah, you could.
Will you maybe do like a podcast? Maybe.
I think it was actually fine. I think it just, I think it was fine.
Okay, but we're okay?
I think so.
All right, let's roll. So,
how's it seem?
are we back on?
All right, cool.
All right, great. So, I wanted to roll right with what we were talking about and go continue along. And basically, that, you know, all these companies want to use your connected home and have Nest basically be like the hub. And I know I have lights in my house that are on, I have Philips Hue, and I really like that. I like that I could turn lights off when I'm in bed remotely or have them not go on. And I'm thinking if I ever get a house, like maybe I'll just don't even need light switches because you just put like a little tapper in the room and you're all set.
Well, what's the thing?
You could be
Anthony?
pulling into your driveway and just click, and it'll turn on your phone. It'll
It's
turn
gonna
the
know.
lights on.
Forget my geofence. I'll put them on the spotlights outside, or get the. They have made to do that. I would.
Step out of your car, out of your Tesla in your driveway. It'll park itself. By the time you get inside, everything's on, ready to go.
What's the thing Anthony has with the? You can change the color temperature of the lights.
Yeah, I have that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Philips Hue.
I think I was at Philips Hue. Cree makes a really
And
good
there's
one
GE
too.
makes one
You can
too.
make it,
Yeah.
You can do it through your phone, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
There's also a bunch of guys that are using the same thing on their car headlights, like the
So now
accent
there could
lights.
be a photographic application for that too, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. if
Yeah, I
you
mean,
wanna-
here's. You can take any of my lights and put it on anything you
Oh,
want.
wow.
So
That's definitely
I don't know if we
cool.
can see here, but I could drag any light to anywhere I want in there. So if you're doing a shoot and you need to get, you know,
change the background color.
500 5K of lighting, you could change
Yeah.
it to the white as opposed to the yellow. That's a typical incandescent bulb.
Which actually reminds me, there was a company at Photo Plus, I think it was Kick. They were making this little like LED panel that was the same thing. It was multicolor LEDs that you could actually program signals into. So if you set it up, say like outside of a window, you could play back a video of lightning going off,
Oh, okay.
and it would simulate lightning in a very sporadic, like flash of the light. You could change the color. So you can grab a fireplace and simulate the glow of a fireplace with an LED.
It's kind of cool how Mike. I mean, Mike, you immediately said that there's a photographic application for that, and Sean already knew one where
Yeah.
it's already in practice, so to speak. And I think that as technology goes on and on, there's gonna be multiple applications for everything, and we're going to link everything. And like you said, click a button. Forget that. I'm already past that. It's just geofence. Know where I am and turn it on based on my settings. But I think that, I talk about home phones a lot, and we're having a baby, so I'm like, my wife wants to have a home phone, so if they need to dial 911, the kids, they could just pick it up and dial it. But I picture kids getting a cell phone like when they're very young now, and like, there's your number forever. Like, they're going to get a house one day, and that's going to still be their number.
Yeah,
Do you have a home phone?
No, I ditched cable and phone because of the fact that Netflix and Hulu did everything I wanted for TV wise.
There's nothing like flipping through some channels.
Well, I mean, I don't watch football, so
Okay.
I don't need that stuff.
Okay.
And home phone, screw that. The packages with a home phone aren't worth it. Get
Yeah.
better internet so you can be faster, better connection to the web, and stream everything.
I definitely like where things are going. That's cool that you mentioned the Nest, and they're going to update that. They're going to make updates to that because it's a piece of software, and that's always nice when you have one piece of hardware and they push updates to it, and you get more features. So is that all you want to talk about Nest? Okay, Sean. What were you going to say?
So let's go on and actually give everyone a little bit of an update about the giveaway that we're doing.
Okay.
So while we're doing this, before we go too far into the tech stuff, so we've tweeted out and we've sent out through Facebook about tweeting into us using the hashtag UTechTalk, and we're going to be giving away one of these cameras. It's a Panasonic LF1. So it's about a $250 camera.
Right.
So the ways to enter is either tweet us at UTechTalk, just anything. Tweet us at UTechTalk. The other way to enter is to come into the store today or tomorrow. We're going to end this Tuesday morning. Come in and tweet us, Unique Photo, USocial, UTechTalk, a picture of yourself in our Panasonic lounge in front of our Panasonic camera display. When you do that, we're going to enter you into this, and Tuesday morning we're going to select one lucky winner to win this new camera. It's a really cool, tiny little camera. It's got a built-in viewfinder, so you'll be able to, kind of be able to shoot in bright light and not have to worry about it. It's got Wi-Fi, pretty much everything you can think of, just like what we had spoken about before. It's got Wi-Fi into
Nice
it.
feeling
It can connect.
Yeah, especially for point and shoot.
And this ring, this is, even more we're talking about tech, it's programmable. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I like that. I like when you can customize everything, and there's no reason you shouldn't.
No, definitely not. There's advantages to these small cameras that a cell phone won't have.
Talked about yesterday, physics and then lens.
Yeah.
I see you like looking at yourself on the TV. Nothing like a 4K TV.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, tweet in, stop in the store, tweet us a picture, and you're gonna walk away with one of these cameras.
yeah, back to the Internet of Things. I wanted to read a little excerpt here. The Motion Picture Association of America, the MPAA, and numerous major Hollywood studios are reportedly working on a new project called Project Goliath to tackle the growing problem of online piracy. So we're talking about the internet. We're talking about the Internet of Things. We're talking about the internet having open access and Hulu. I mean, these are things that they're doing to combat essentially, the piracy or the everything good, or the free people, giving things away for free. So some leaked reports suggest that Goliath is a coalition code name for internet search engine Google. Leaked emails shared among the members of the coalition hinted that they believe they would have to take down Google to get rid of online piracy. Not happening.
Right.
But they certainly can have Google. You ever see that on the bottom you had something omitted from the search results from the Copyright Act? So essentially, if Google puts in some better filtering, we can remove a lot of the places people find these BitTorrents and these other pirated movies and fix that issue.
I miss the heyday of that. That was fun.
Of what? Napster and
Yeah, no, I mean, even a little bit after that, you used to be able to find anything on Google, but I've noticed that more now. It's a little bit more difficult.
And now with the right to forget yourself, the right to be forgotten,
Right.
you can get your own stuff removed from Google, which used to be impossible.
Right.
I don't know if it's good or not.
it still takes a very long
That's
time
where
apparently
I kind
with
of
Google.
the whole thing. I'm not sure if that's good or not either.
Well, people say there's records up there that, like, if you have a criminal record now, it's just published on the internet essentially, but it was always available as public record, but you have to go somewhere to get it.
Sure.
And there's companies that make money off that, and it's really smart ideas, but essentially what they do is they do the manpower to get the material, they put it on their website and put it up on the internet, and they're like, oh, you want to take it down? Fork over cash.
Right.
Or they have another company that does it. Similar to Dun & Bradstreet, they used to be they're a credit rating for businesses. So let's say Nikon, they do it, subscribes to Dun & Bradstreet, and they say, okay, Unique Photos information is this, and then let's say Unique Photo wants to clean it up. You go to Dun & Bradstreet Helping Authority or something, some other company that will help your reputation, aka, hey, fix this guy's thing, click, you pay them a couple $1,000s.
Right.
That's why I never really give much credit to these type of companies or.
Yeah, there's even services that will help improve your Yelp reviews or your Google reviews and try and scrub your online image as well.
Well, we know how Yelp works, right? Did we talk about that before on the show?
No, we haven't actually.
Well, I mean, Yelp is essentially a private website, and the reviews are by real people, but they suppress reviews if you don't pay them. And
I've heard that. Is that true?
yeah, and it's legal, and it's totally legal because they own their own website. So it's kind of like if I owned a blog and I wrote, "Hey, I tasted this food and it tasted really bad in my opinion," and the restaurant's like, "Hey, here's $5, take it down." I'll be like, "All right," and I take it. This food's great. So that's essentially what Yelp is. They want you to pay to be on there.
So how accurate would you say it is?
Well, all the results are accurate, but when you just go at a glance, 3 stars, you might not be getting the big picture.
Okay.
We told everyone, write a review about our company and we'll give you $5. I don't care, good review, bad review, anything, which in my opinion should be totally fine. We want you to just take a minute and review us. We'll compensate you. And Yelp said to us that we're in violation of their policy. But we said, okay, but they said, hey, if you spend $1,000 a month with us, which is a lot of money, we'll make sure all these reviews get pushed up there. And you know what I told them, obviously. So let's roll to our next topic here. Sure. I want to let you guys talk a little bit more. I have no voice today. I want to talk about prosthetics 3D. Did we talk about that?
Well, we kind of skipped over it a little bit. It was more in line with
the bionic eye?
Yeah, with the bionic eye, and as well as wearable tech and all that. But yeah, it's been amazing what I've been reading about 3D printing lately, and it's actually not only just the medical ability to produce a prosthetic hand or limb for a very reduced cost, but some of the reason the cost is so high in the first place is the R&D had to go into making something like that. But it's
my biggest thing, which I've talked a couple times to you guys about, is when you're dealing with 3D printing, you're dealing with materials. So you know that NASA can print out titanium pieces. They can print out any material they want. So when we're talking about printing a bionic arm, if you need to have those material or ingredients, you can do whatever you need.
Right. And I remember when we had lunch once, you were talking about how it's kind of just mostly a hobby type thing. But in a way, that's good because I watched a segment on the news the other day about in cities. I think the particular one was in Atlanta. There's like nonprofit or like smaller just like groups that start out as people just a hobby that get together and start these centers for maker bots or 3D printers. And it's not just like a bunch of like nerds in their mom's basement or anything. There's like doctors that come to these things and they source the materials. And there's actually a foot surgeon there who made a model foot and was able to improve the efficiency, like the time it took to do the surgery on the foot, and also the recovery time as well, because of how he was able to practice on the 3D printed foot.
I think that the resurgence of like private businesses are going to definitely be fueled with these 3D printers. If you need a part for a piece, you can go to your neighbor, go to someone in the area in your town, and they're going to print it for you and give it to you.
Yeah.
So I think that we're going to see a resurgence in like the American garage.
Sure, so almost manufacturing coming back to America.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even if it's on a big scale at a big corporation, they can manufacture by printing materials, which maybe would be done manually overseas, and they just do manually overseas because labor is so inexpensive.
Right.
That's the reason why manual labor is done overseas, because it's
Sure.
You have a factory, you pay them $1 a day, $2 a day. It's a lot different than paying someone here.
You have any input on it?
Not really.
Okay.
Surprising.
Oh, there's Duke.
I mean, with 3D printing in general, I mean, it's been something that's been covered a couple times around here, and
Duke,
and
what do you have to say about that?
just outside of prosthetics, I mean, it's amazing what's just being done with 3D printing in general. Prosthetics is the high end part of it, but the side of, say, like with one of the drones that we have over there,
Right.
the fact that when you look at it, it
Who
looks
makes the
very
drone?
easy. 3D Robotic makes the drone.
That's a new drone that we got.
The new drone that we have. It looks and it's designed perfectly so that you break a leg on one of the arms, you probably can find a CAD design of it somewhere and reprint it. And that's a great way to self-maintain products. I don't know how well that's going to be for, say, like the company itself. If all of a sudden they can't, what's the going to be? Are you going to be able to sell people the parts, or do you move to sell the schematics for the parts?
I think that companies, this is my opinion, and companies don't do this, but my opinion is a company should make sure everyone's happy. That should be their goal.
Of course.
They should make it as easy as possible for you to break it, not to break it, for you to, they should make it as easy as you can to replace it and continue to use it, and inexpensive. And I think we even saw that with Apple. They moved on all the phones. They redid the design so they could switch out the screen for a reasonable price.
Yeah.
And happy customers are going to buy more, buy other products.
That's a great point about
And stay
Apple
loyal to
with
the brand.
With the iPhone is because there was the whole thing about how the phone bends, but it's not a big deal to their users because everything's backed up automatically. And if it bends, you go to the Apple store, they'll replace it for you the same day. You just walk out with a new phone, and it's like you didn't miss a beat. So it was never even a big deal for iPhone users.
Yeah, and first of all, I could bend anything with enough force, but
Let's try this.
yeah, I mean, please don't. But it's backed up. I mean, like you said, me, everything's, you just download remotely from the store. You probably restore while you're still in the store. So I agree with you that customer support is definitely a big part of the future.
That's a big part of Apple's success is their amazing customer support.
Yeah, and they weren't like that when they first had the iPods. You broke an iPod, they're like, this is not under warranty for anything.
Right.
And they realized they have to address that. And one big thing is, we kind of run that model here. We want to make sure everyone's completely satisfied, and you guys sell on the floor, and I'm not saying you're not aggressive, but you don't force anything down anyone's throat. You want them to be happy, ultimately. That's the point.
Well, in this kind of economy that we're in now,
Which is a new economy. It's not changing.
right? It's not, and you're not going to be able to. If you come here to buy a camera from me, I'm not going to give you the 1950s car salesman type, even though I might dress like it.
No, you look good.
But,
And that's important. And we're going to see that more and more in this modern consumer behavior is not going anywhere.
No, definitely not. So you've got with TechLink, since we're talking about Apple, I mean, who's making the chip now?
Well,
This has been
no one necessarily knows, but there's a company out of Taiwan who's supposedly making the AA chip, and they're using, I believe they're using 20 nanometer technology. And people are saying now that, let's see here.
Is it suspiciously lining up with?
Sorry, come here, Duke.
Come here, Duke.
Duke, come here. Come on. We loading the article?
Yeah, I'm pulling the article up here.
Samsung.
So let's see.
So the AA chip is made by a Taiwan manufacturer, and it's a 64-bit chip, obviously.
Yeah.
And people are believing that it's made by TSMC, which is a Taiwan process manufacturer, but it's on a 20 nanometer process, which means the chip's smaller. Now, the smaller the chip doesn't mean slower, but it means less energy.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a really important part. And
That means
Your
better
battery life improves.
Because what I've noticed with any technology over the past even 10 years is that battery technology hasn't gotten any better in terms of efficiency, but the other parts.
10 years it has, but in the last 3 or 4, yeah, it hasn't. They slowly are getting there. But I think we're going to see when the battery does happen, we're going to see a quantum leak, because the technology is the same, the way that it charges the lithium-ion cells, and they spit off energy. And we're going to see a big change in terms of the speed it takes to charge something, I think, before we see the battery life change as much.
There's even like the Nexus 6 phone or a couple of the Droid ones that you can get an 8-hour charge in 15 minutes now.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Right, and imagine your phone lasted as long as it did, but in 10 minutes you went to 100%.
Right.
I think we're gonna see the biggest leap when you could charge your phone in 3 or 4 minutes and then get the day out of power out of it.
Exactly.
I think we're gonna see that. It's a question of whether that comes first or the wireless electricity. Because if we were charging right now, well, we care how long it lasts.
Which
Right.
actually, with the wireless electricity, a couple weeks ago, I went to Engadget Expand in Manhattan. One of the coolest things that they were talking about was wireless charging, and some of
Not
the
just
technology-
like a mat charger, but we're talking
not a
like
mat
feet.
charging,
It'll be like
everything.
Wi-Fi electricity?
Yeah, I mean that's
Kind of was-
that's my hope of what it turns into. You come over to my house, I go, here's the code to my electricity, and you could charge your device.
Well, what
That's my hope.
What this one guy was demoing was, and I'll put the links up because I didn't even think about it to talk about it. It's this item that you put under, like, say, the floor tiles in your home. Start one in the corner, and then you can basically daisy chain this through your whole house. So you walk into your home,
And you're charging.
any device will charge.
I mean that's a lot. I think we're going to see it skip that because I think that's a little cumbersome, and I don't think that's as practical as we see. But to your exact point, they make counters now that are have the spots where you just put your blender above it, and it will do that close range inductive charging.
But what was cool with this is that it wasn't inductive charging.
Well, what was
This
it?
setup, and I'll put the link up. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't thinking about talking about it, but it would take anything that you attach to it. You don't have to buy specific devices, specific tables for this. It just builds in and uses
Yeah.
your existing.
It's retrofit.
because it's
But how does it charge my iPhone? It can't charge my iPhone. The device has to be enabled to do it. It has to have the receiving technology in it, right?
yeah, eventually. But it was I think it was working through magnetic.
That's an induction form.
Induction,
We're gonna see. I'm hoping if you could charge within 10 feet of something, that's gonna be good.
You know what I'm excited about? We've talked a lot about practicality and with all this technology we've discussed today, but I'm really excited to see how this eventually improves aesthetics and how things look, and to make the world more beautiful too, with different kinds of LED lights or mobile electricity and stuff. I'm really excited to see not just function, but the form that artists and architects use this kind of technology with as well. Maybe that's something we can talk about next time.
Yeah, I mean, and Apple's a prime example. They were fought to get it thinner, and that's what you said, aesthetics. I mean, you remember the first VHS camcorder?
Yeah.
And then but most of that was big because the tape was big.
Sure.
So then they shrunk the tape. We had those mini cassettes, which you put in a big cassette and it made the.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, which is basically that's how they made it a lot smaller to start. And then you went to the mini DV, which was HD though, and now you're at chip. And chip, the video cameras now can be tiny. It's all about the lens. So. Yeah, so the bottom line answer to your question is that the A8X chip that's in the iPad 2 is running on the same kind of technology, and they believe that they're going to switch to a 14 nanometer process, which would be so small. This article doesn't show it, but I kind of give you that off the cusp. So
And what was it that the 14 nanometer chip it's very similar to one of the products that Samsung's making
Well,
right now?
Samsung has the fabrication process for the chip, and is going to be making the next chips for Apple. And they've made it for a while. And I heard that when Apple moved this set of, there's a rumor obviously, when they moved this rollout, the 6, away from Samsung, it really hurt the chip manufacturing business. Because to run your chip factory, you need to be at critical mass.
Sure.
You're talking about, we're not talking about, one of those easy bake ovens here. And the chips come out. You ever see that? Maybe we'll put a video up. We'll put a video up to Lexar has a video of it. It comes out on wafers,
The front,
and they
sure.
cut the wafers and they're built. So it's really, really high-end technology that you're getting in these mobile devices.
Wow.
You have anything else you want to talk about besides the physics of chips?
That's about it.
Any camera-related news you guys you have?
I mean, nothing really specific. I mean, so far it's really just a lot of the stuff that we talked about yesterday. All the Wi-Fi stuff in the cameras getting better and better.
I heard something's going to be happening in February from one of the big manufacturers. Can't say who right now, but so it should be a February surprise for everybody.
Stuff we were talking about last night.
No, something new.
Really?
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about it in another episode. But
We'll definitely be coming back from everybody at a CES. This is going to be loud.
We're doing live tech talk. If anyone has a tech question and wants to be in the video, we're going to take questions now. So just come over. We'll get you on the camera. They never should give me one of these. So we'll see. Anyone has a question, we'll get a live question and answer session going, or otherwise we're going to call it quits. I guess no one in the store has a question right now.
Well, the classes are beyond packed today.
yeah,
Oh, so when they roll out, we'll get some questions.
Oh yeah.
So let's end this. Let's bring this tech talk to an end.
Yeah.
And we'll do another Q&A session maybe later.
Sure.
And we might move to maybe a daily type thing or weekly, just to experiment, because we have so much to talk about. We have so many topics we're all eager to talk about, and they segue so well. There's some ideas about podcasts that came in. Some people asked us to make a podcast, so we're gonna roll out some other ideas and keep going forward. I'm AX Suite, which I don't even know why I tell you that. Never use Twitter, so I guess Instagram. I'm AX
I
Suite.
put mine in before. I forgot my Twitters. I don't use it.
Yeah, I mean I only use it to retweet this class.
Mike Sawatsky on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm at AX Suite on Instagram. Yeah, it's the same one.
SMR Photography 87 on Instagram.
Yeah, shows SMR 435968 at yahoo.org/com/. Tim. Give me the camera. We do?
The camera's
great.
going on Tuesday.
So we're giving out the Alex Panasonic for that.
Yeah.
And peace.
All right, guys. Thank
care,
you.
guys.
Have a great day. Go Cowboys.